You never know who's gonna show up at the Jeffies.
You truly never know who's gonna show up. Hello, good morning,
Good morning, Phoebes. It's too early.
It sure is.
Welcome to the first, best, and only morning show in existence. I'm Anthony Carboni.
And I'm Saige Ryan, and we missed you.
You know, a couple of people, we are the first, best, and only morning show, and a lot of people in the chat have been mentioning something called Oh No Morning Show, and I just want to say, we don't know what that is, and it never existed.
Never heard of it.
Never heard of it, never will.
I don't know what that is. Hi, everyone. We missed you. I'm very happy to be here. We weren't necessarily going to do a show on Friday because I just got back from New York City. But we decided to rally for video games' most favoritist day.
We decided, listen, it was the Jeffies. You gotta talk about the Jeffies.
You gotta talk about the Jeffies is the thing.
It's the Jeffies are here, baby.
Yeah, so we are going to be recapping the Game Awards for you today. All of the trailer releases, all of the awards.
You never know who's gonna show up at the Jeffies.
You truly never know who's gonna show up.
Anybody could show up at the Jeffies. Anybody could show up and they could win an award and they could go up on stage Sorry, we'll move on.
I was in New York City.
And boy, are my arms tired.
I didn't even say I flew.
I could just tell.
That I flew?
Yeah. You're just like, I could just tell by the way you're holding your mic today. I was like, her arms are tired.
Yeah, from flying all the way back. Every time I'm in New York, I'm reminded how much that city is not for me.
Oh, I miss it.
I know you love New York.
I created the t-shirt.
Yeah. Yeah, I got one of your famous mugs.
That's right.
I remember being a teenager and being like, someday I want to make sure that sometime in my life I live in New York for at least a year. Like I want to spend at least a year in New York. I want to live in New York.
Yeah.
And I just had my 28th birthday and I can confidently say I no longer want that.
What are you doing still on camera?
Choke. Literally choke.
I'll say this, and this is the thing that all people who from New York who have lived in New York or whatever say is, well, where were you staying and where did you go?
Here's the thing. So this is my third time in New York. I do think it's a beautiful city. I think I have nothing against the city. I don't think there's anything wrong with New York. What I do know is I'm too soft for that city.
Oh, sure. Look.
I'm too soft for it. People bump into me and it makes me want to cry.
Oh, yeah. And they don't mean anything by it.
No, I know. It's not this.
Yeah.
I get it. I get that that's the city.
Yeah.
It's not them. It's me.
Yeah.
And I don't belong there.
But this is why I asked where you stayed and where you went is because you should not, if you're in New York, you should not be spending all of your time in Manhattan. That will destroy you.
Yeah. So far, this time I was staying in Chelsea. And I was navigating mostly around Chelsea.
Oof.
Last time I was staying near Chinatown.
Okay.
And I explored a lot of like the Lower East Side
Yeah.
and a little bit of Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Previously, the first time I went,
Hey,
I did the
bacon, egg, and cheese.
No.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
I'm not doing this with you.
With the Bev?
Yeah, and then the first time I went to New York, I stayed in like a very like straight up Times Square.
Yeah. I say Chelsea can be. It wasn't always this way, but Chelsea can be extremely crowded and disorienting now that they have like the big Chelsea market and the High Line and all that stuff.
Yeah, and there was a lot of stuff going on at Rockefeller Center, which was not far from there. So I think there was a lot of people, a lot of influx of people seeing holiday decor and stuff.
You're in it, baby, if you're in Chelsea.
And it was very overwhelming to me, so much so. And cold.
Yeah.
It was cold.
Oh, I miss New York in the winter. I
hate being cold.
Ugh.
I wandered around for almost an hour trying to find a place to eat that had a place to sit.
Yeah.
Which was very difficult to do.
Not easy.
Hey, what do people do? Because a lot of them just don't have seating at all. Do they take it back to their homes? Is it to pick up pizza? Because it's all pizza. Is it to pick up pizza and go home, or is it to walk and eat pizza?
Do you know how surprised you are by how often I will walk and eat with food?
Is that what it is?
That's what it is.
It's walk and eat?
I lived in New York for 10 years and I just grab food and I take it with me and I walk with it.
See,
or you stand, they usually have like a little counter by the window and you can watch people on the street, but you're always standing. I was in, you're going to get the best leggy muscles if you live in New York.
I can't handle walking without food. I'm not going to try and walk and eat. Already, when I'm walking, I'm having a terrible time trying to just dodge the paths of people. And everybody is going in a straight line.
Yeah.
And even if you are also in a straight line, it is your fault if you are in the way.
Yeah, you know how they say that birds have this sort of shared instinctual thing?
Yeah.
Like a flock of birds have like their magnetoreception sense where they always know where north is, but then there's some sort of like social intelligence that they have where the entire flock can move. You get that about a year and a half into living in New York.
I don't have it.
No. So what did you do? You just walked around in a circle and you were hungry the whole time? What'd you do?
Yeah.
Did you do anything fun or cool?
Well, I finally found a place that was like a pizza place, and I got some chicken tenders there. Normal, natural.
Yeah.
And it was cold, and I had been walking for an hour trying to find anywhere, and I was like already trying to get to the airport. What?
I love that I asked you what you did in New York, and you were like, about the food?
Yeah, no, wait. No. But wait, the rest of the story, I get up to the counter, and I'm like, "Hi, can I just get some chicken tenders?" And whatever my energy gave off, the man at the front desk looked at me like he was worried I was being trafficked. He said, "How are you?"
Hey, that's the thing. People in New York actually are very sweet.
I was very appreciative, but I was like, I don't know what to say in my current state of distress to let you know I am not in danger. I'm just having a bad time.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm okay. I'm just cold. He goes, yeah, it's cold out there. But he stared at me the whole time I was in there eating like, what is her fucking deal?
So
I don't know what I looked like.
probably like a poor little stray wet cat. Probably that's what you looked like. So what did you do in New York? Did you do anything?
It was a very short trip.
Yeah.
I was there for
Have a nice fall.
Hey.
Practice, Carnegie Hall. What?
I think I'm allowed to say, because one of the people from the team there shared at least a photo that we were there. It was a trip with Alienware. We were doing some things for Alienware, but I can't say what we were doing. Okay. But I was only there, like, I got in at 6 p.m. the night before. We filmed and did stuff all day for one day, and I flew out the next day. So I did no New York activities other than wander around sadly and look for food. I tried to get to Rockefeller Center because I wanted to go see the like pretty Christmas decorations.
Yeah.
Time is different there.
Yeah.
Not enough time.
No, it takes, I mean, if you're in Chelsea, you look at it and you go, oh, I'm only like 15 blocks.
Yeah.
No, you're not. Take the train. Take the train, especially during the holidays. But then you get out at Rockefeller Center, you get to see the lights, you get to go to Nintendo World, you get to see the Nintendo stuff.
That's what I wanted to do. I wanted to go see all the Nintendo stuff, and I didn't get to.
Honestly, the biggest thing I can say, if you're visiting New York for any amount of time and you have any amount of free time, even if it's just 2 hours, call somebody you know from New York. Tell them you're in town. Tell them you have 2 hours. Tell them what you want to do. They will magically show up. It's not like LA.
I was gonna say, if someone did that to me in LA,
no.
Oh my God.
It's not like
I
LA.
would never.
LA is like, hey man, I've got a day free and I'm here. What can we do? And it's like, I have to go to the dry cleaner, and so I can't see you until next Thursday.
Yeah.
New York is very much like, are you in fucking New York?
Yeah.
Are you in New York?
We do have a lot of friends
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Don't.
Bacon, egg, and cheese.
Anyways,
with the Bev.
I'm very happy to be back.
We're very happy to have you back.
Thank you. We're here for one more week, and then I leave again.
Yeah, fuck you.
Yeah. Fair.
Fuck you, buddy. I want you to know that my life changed a lot while you were gone.
Go on.
I'm a Genshin Impact influencer now. That's right. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's what happened while I was gone.
I'm a Genshin influencer now. I want y'all to know I'm doing a sponsored stream with Genshin Impact this afternoon, and I'm very excited about it because I'm a brand now.
Yeah, congrats on being a brand.
I'm a brand now, and I'll be doing that today at 4. I'll be a brand. This is just the beginning of my market integration scheme, Saige. My goal is to have every moment of my life branded by the end of the year, which is right around the corner.
This year?
This year. And I think I can do it.
You got like what, 3 weeks?
I got 3 weeks. I got to get it all branded. If you're out there and you own a brand, hit me up. I'm ready to wear your t-shirt and write your name on my forehead. Let's go. Everybody, come on over. But seriously, I'm going to do a Genshin Impact stream, and I'm very excited.
That's great.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Thanks.
I knew somebody who used to get brand tattoos in hopes that the brand would then give them something.
That's not how it works.
Worked a couple times.
It works a couple times, but you don't want to do that all the time.
Yeah. Just like, I loved this burger place, so I went and got a tattoo of the burger place, and then I went into the burger place and showed them and hoped that they'd give me free burgers for the year.
For the year?
Yeah.
Unprompted?
Yeah.
I love it. I love the combination of unmitigated gall.
Yeah.
Just audacity and just inability to think long term.
Yep.
Like it's somehow a mix of both.
Isn't it?
Do you remember the very, very early internet days? There was literally a gentleman who was tattooing ad space on him, and like a lot of large corporations like would tattoo on him.
I do remember that.
And it was just like, I'm a living billboard. That dude made so much money. And I hope that he did not get the survivorship bias of making a lot of money on the early internet and immediately reinvest that stuff into other early internet things.
Yeah.
Because he's either very rich or very poor now.
Right. Like if you invested in Google, cool.
Google?
Yeah. Google.
Amazon.
But if you were like, did you hear about this new crypto thing?
Did you hear about crypto? Did you hear about, listen, I put a lot of money into Napster. And I think it's going to take off.
I think it's really going somewhere.
It's not just about stealing music. This is the future of everything.
Yeah.
Napster.
Yeah, I own some shares of MySpace and specifically Yahoo Answers.
That's right.
And
That's
only
right.
Answers.
Just Answers.
Not Yahoo as a company.
No.
Hey, y'all.
Hey, how are you? We missed you. And,
we did.
We're so sorry that we weren't here with you for the last few days, but we're back. We've come back to you now at the turning of the tides to talk to you about the Jeffies. The Video Game Awards, Saige.
Yeah, I would love to know. I would love to start with, because I feel like a lot of BBs have seen stuff if they didn't watch the whole Game Awards. I'd just love to know what everyone's general feelings are. I want to do like a little vibe check before we get to the news on how you're feeling about the Game Awards of 2023.
Oh, what do I have to say about the Jeffies? What is there to say about the Jeffies?
What could one really say?
What could one say about gaming's biggest evening? All of the biggest gamers were there. Matthew McConaughey was there.
Yeah.
Timothy Chalamet, actually, they had a very funny intro for Timothy Chalamet.
They did.
Who was
YouTuber,
was a boy gamer, and is now just the boy. But yeah, Jeff Keighley said, you remember we were reporting on, somebody had asked Jeff Keighley, when I say reporting, I mean regurgitating the reporting of others.
Yeah, we're a commentary show.
We were talking about how Keighley had said he didn't want to talk about the number of reveals and trailers this year because he didn't want the Game Awards to be about that. He wanted the Game Awards, he didn't want it to be this numbers race about how many reveals and trailers and things he could do. He wanted it to be about the show. And I thought to myself, that's very lovely of him to say that. Number one, because it would be impossible for him to keep up the pace that the Game Awards have been at.
Yes.
But number two, it sounds like he wants to focus a little bit more on the awards.
Yeah.
I was incorrect.
Yeah, no. In fact, the awards were a little bit of like a sideshow Like the awards were happening almost in the background.
The amount of time Kojima gets at the Game Awards, even when Kojima isn't there, you know what I mean?
Oh my God.
And listen,
Kojima was there.
No. But I mean, you remember the year he wasn't there?
Yeah.
And we somehow spent 5 minutes on Kojima. And out of all of the horrible things that are going on in the industry, Jeff Keighley gave an impassioned monologue about how terrible it was that Konami was mistreating Kojima.
Yeah. And then remember how probably like the year after that, he opened up with hyping up Blizzard?
Yeah.
Because Pepperidge Farm remembers.
The actual acceptance of awards was a bit of a travesty last night. Most of the awards were given side stage, not even main stage.
Yeah.
I don't want to say most because I haven't broken down the numbers, but I saw Barrett ask this. Our buddy Barrett Courtney asked this on Twitter too. He was like, I want a numeric breakdown. I want to go back through the Game Awards. And I want to know how many awards were given out side stage and not main stage.
Yeah.
A lot of awards, I mean, these speeches were like, wow, it's so exciting. Like, what the fuck? And then, so many awards didn't even get a speech.
Yeah.
There was
Most did not get a speech.
There was so much talk about Best Indie.
Yeah.
Best Indie didn't even get a speech. We could have missed a speech from Dave the Diver, the one true indie game,
which did not win.
It did not win, but
thank goodness.
Things like art direction in video games didn't get an award,
which is a massive category for video games.
Visual direction in video, and I mean, look, this is very much, and we've talked about this. This show is about who are the biggest, most recognizable names that we can hand a microphone to and put a camera on.
Yeah.
And they will get the most time.
Yeah.
They are the ones that get the most time. Best indie, who's even there that we know? Nobody. It's an indie. Art direction. Go back to your Wacom tablet.
A Kodoroku in the live studio audience said that somebody added up and that... Never mind, moving on.
No, what?
That the actual award speeches only made up 12 minutes of the 4-hour show.
Yeah, 3 hours and 37 minutes. And the speeches took up 12. And listen, we're already there for 3 hours and 37 minutes. Round it up to 4 and give us that extra 13 minutes or 23 minutes.
Or shave a couple of sci-fi shooter trailers off.
But I got to know about all the sci-fi shooters. I can keep listen, I know the difference between all the sci-fi shooters.
Yeah, I can name all of the words that they put in those names, like dissonance and army of light. And
yeah. Your tough guy trailer voice, I want you to know, sounds like a grandpa on his deathbed whispering a secret to me about a treasure.
Yeah. Hire me. I'm available.
Professionally.
Yeah.
Listen.
Not emotionally.
Not emotionally. Cannot do that for you. In keeping with who are the biggest people that we can get on the stage.
Yeah, who's your favorite gamer? Jordan Peele or Matthew McConaughey?
Here's the thing. I believe that Jordan Peele gets high and plays video games. I don't believe that he does it very much anymore because he's got children and he's making movies all the time. But I believe that there was a time in Jordan Peele's life where he was getting high and playing a lot of video games. Matthew McConaughey plays Big Buck Hunter.
Yeah.
Matthew McConaughey plays Big Buck Hunter and Golden Tee Golf when he's at the bar alone waiting for a friend.
So
maybe
I want
Woody
to talk
Harrelson
about both of these
them.
celebrity appearances because celebrity appearances have become kind of a staple of the Game Awards. It's always exciting to see who will pop up. It's very funny because in the introduction they were like, and celebrity appearances by Gonzo. And they didn't say any of this will act like IRL celebrities, which is pretty funny. That's fine with me.
Yeah, I think that's fun.
I approve of that. There's now this energy when a mainstream celebrity who has not really an interest in games necessarily comes out on stage and they're like, video games, right? You love them. I'm in one.
Yeah, we don't need
We're
to do
doing
this.
video games now,
We
right?
don't need to do how big are wow? Who knew how big video games are?
We did. It's the Game Awards.
Literally
Everyone
everybody.
here did.
Literally
it's
everybody.
okay that you didn't, but that's what we all know.
This
you're
year
you're the space where everybody knows.
was the 10th Game Awards. The 10th Game Awards.
Yeah.
And that's we're not counting like all of the Spike VGA.
No.
Like this is the 10th Game Awards.
Yeah.
Video games.
We know.
We understand how many billions and billions of dollars they make.
Yeah.
We understand what large corporations they are.
Yeah.
Coming out and being like, fucking Frogger, am I right?
Yeah.
Holy shit. Y'all, Centipede?
Would you believe it?
Fucking balloon fight?
You guys seen these controllers?
Wow.
Whoa, they feel different now. Isn't that interesting? The energy is just the like, well, this
Pac-Man's
is the
got a
next thing
wife.
we do. It's like, okay, well, here's the next thing we do. Now we're doing video games. I bet you thought someone as famous as me would never, but here I am.
Yeah. That's how you know that person is in their 50s,
Yeah.
usually. That's how you know that person is in their late 40s, early 50s.
Yeah.
Because they just, that whole wave of everything
Yeah.
missed them. And they don't pay attention and they
Right.
don't care.
We love Idris Elba, but that was also Idris Elba's energy.
Yeah.
When he came out and talked about the game, it was definitely like, we just see it over and over with celebrities.
Idris Elba thought about, I could tell that and Idris Elba now has made a good chunk of money off of video games as Knuckles and
Yeah.
in the Cyberpunks. But he came out talking about,
he's movies Knuckles.
yeah, he's movies Knuckles,
He's
but
not video game
but he knows that's
Knuckles.
from a video game.
Sure.
Like he knows.
Sure. Yeah.
So he came out and talked about it the way like The Rock talks about his tequila brand. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, like
he-
some agent decided that this was a thing I'm doing, so check it out.
This is me diversifying my portfolio. Watch
Yeah,
me
yeah.
diversify.
ooh,
That's what it felt like.
yeah, it did. It really does.
I'm excited about this investment opportunity for all of us.
And then, while we're on the celebrity sides of this, there was the Jordan Peele and Hideo Kojima.
Now-
that was a funny little segment.
It was a fun little segment. Eagle-eyed people. Now, first of all, we sort of knew something was happening because Kojima, do you remember on his Instagram, has posted a couple pictures from Jordan Peele's
we
house.
knew.
Like we knew.
They had said already that they were working together on a game. This was not an announcement. We had covered that
yeah.
they were working together and that Jordan Peele was going to be working on Hideo Kojima's
We
next
knew
game.
that this was happening. They had
Yeah.
been handing out like the weird advertisements, remember, were popping up and not saying it was a game. It was
Yeah.
just like all of these things were happening. And so them showing up together, not really surprising to me.
But here's what was funny to me.
Okay.
A couple of things. One, man, Hideo Kojima loves Hideo Kojima. Oh, nobody,
That's not true. Jeff Keighley loves Hideo Kojima more than
Yeah,
but he's the
okay,
only one.
But he's the only one. I can't help it. Every time I see an interview with Hideo Kojima, I do have to giggle a little bit. The ego fills the room in such an immense way that for some reason I feel like we don't talk about enough. Like, damn, that dude is pretty sure he's the Messiah.
Yeah.
And like, I'm not even talking shit. Hideo Kojima is a brilliant figure in games.
Yeah.
And also thinks that he is God.
And also-
which is a bit much for me personally.
And also, I think probably has way too large a collection of World War II and Vietnam memorabilia at his house.
yeah, probably does give off that energy.
Like way too much of that shit.
But he talked about the game and he said a couple of things that were that raised some flags for me.
Sure.
One is like, it's kind of a game, but it's also kind of a movie. But it's also an experience, a type of media no one's ever made.
A new type of media. Baby, how you gonna back that up? Baby, how are you gonna back up the fact that you just created a new type of media?
Don't say that.
How are you gonna say that in the same
Don't
room?
say
How are you gonna say that
that.
in the same room as Sam Lake? How are you gonna say that sitting in the same room as Sam fucking Lake?
Like, that's
You son of a bitch bastard,
Yeah.
that's bold. That's bold. You made a game where I have to hold down different triggers to walk.
Yeah.
Don't you.
Yeah,
Ooh,
I
I'm
would
so
say,
mad.
I would say that because let's see. Let me flash on him. There we go. I can read. Said same words for Death Stranding. I would argue that Death Stranding was not actually a new medium of entertainment. I would argue that it's a video game.
I would argue that it's barely a video game.
Hey!
I would argue.
Ow!
I would argue that the Emperor is not wearing any clothes on Death Stranding.
But Jordan Peele comes out and he's like, I'm really excited. I really love this. Death Stranding was amazing. And then Hideo Kojima.
Thank you, null denominator. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. Hideo Kojima really made $100 million quap.
Yeah.
He really made $100 million quap. And he was just like, it's a whole new thing. And I was like, buddy, I've seen this game 8 times on the front page of Itch.
Yeah.
It just don't have Norman Reedus drinking Monster Energy in it.
Yeah.
Or weird mother issues.
And weird baby issues.
Can I be frank with you?
You may.
I like weird baby imagery in Kojima games. I think it's very unsettling.
I know you do.
When the person opens their mouth and you go down their throat and a baby's in there and it gives you a thumbs up.
It's fine.
That's fine.
It's fine.
It's fine with me.
It's fine. But Jordan Peele talks about this and Keely's like, like bated breath on every word. Mm-hmm. And Hideo Kojima just decides to say, I mean, Jordan Peele is not the only creative I'm working on with this. I'm working with a lot of very impressive creatives.
Not just like, and not in the way of like, in addition to Jordan, we're so excited to be working with Jordan. And in addition to Jordan, we've also got, Kojima just really wants you to know, this ain't a Jordan Peele joint.
He was just like, I want to be clear and he was also like, but I'm not allowed to say those people. And it was just like, well, Jordan Peele's the only one we can say right now, but like there's a bunch of other really impressive people that are also working with it. But like he's the one that's here. The strangest thing.
Dude.
Oh yeah, and he didn't say one thing about Jordan Peele either.
No.
In any of it. Like Jordan Peele took the time to talk about Hideo Kojima's work. Mm-hmm. Like you do respectfully when you're announcing a collaboration. And Hideo Kojima did not say a goddamn thing about Jordan Peele.
It's so weird.
There's other people too. Like, he's cool, but like there's others.
It's so weird because he was very sparing about his Guillermo del Toro stuff as well. Like he was like, yes, we're working on this with Guillermo del Toro. Yeah. But it was very much like, but I'm Hideo Kojima. Like we know that, right? I'm Hideo Kojima, and Guillermo del Toro's pretty all right, and that's why I'm working with him is because he's almost equal to me, Hideo Kojima, buddy. I say this about all of these auteurs in the games industry. Yeah. Go make a movie.
It's okay if you want to make a movie.
Go make a movie.
Yeah.
If you want to go make a movie, Ken Levine, go make your movie. Hideo Kojima, go make your movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go make your movie. Go do one movie and get it out of your system.
Yeah.
So you can come back and make video games. And also so you can see that like, it ain't easy.
Right. Yeah. They're like, easy. Oh, they're just making movies. We're making games. I say this a lot also about DMs in tabletop games. Mm-hmm. Hey, just write a book sometime. Just write a book. Maybe write a movie. There's a lot of DMs that want to like overly control the scenario. Mm-hmm. And every time they do, it's that like, oh, but the players aren't doing the thing I wanted them to do. It's like, hey, then write a book. You know what? You know when the characters do exactly what you want? Write a movie.
This is a collaborative thing right now.
Yeah.
So what we're doing is we're collaborating right now.
The DM's not the most important person at the table. Everyone is.
Unless that DM is Hideo Kojima. In which case, yes, the DM is the most important person.
Playing a tabletop game with Hideo Kojima would be a nightmare.
Hideo Kojima plays a human fighter.
I was going to say a human fighter.
Hideo Kojima plays a human fighter.
Secretly a prince.
Yep. And is scarred, but is beautiful.
Yeah.
And is like, it's like all the things that I did with Rickard, but seriously.
Yeah.
Like Hideo Kojima takes his shit seriously.
Yeah.
100%. And like he's the leader and he makes all the decisions. And when they meet an NPC, he goes, "Yes, we've met before."
And the DM's like,
Yes, we met before when you swore fealty to my father. It is me. It's just like, fuck, come on, man.
Roll for it. Don't I get advantage?
And then Timothée Chalamet came out. The Boy came out. He was the other big one.
Cool.
And they introduced him as modded 360 controller because he used to have a YouTube channel where he modded 360 controllers.
Which is great. I think that was very sweet.
It's very sweet. It's like when you remember that Kat Dennings was a vlogger.
I didn't know that.
Oh, Kat Dennings.
It's the first time hearing of that.
Oh yeah, Kat Dennings had a big, and it was while she was like making movies and stuff too.
That's cool.
Yeah, like very early on, like around like the Nick and Nora days.
I think that's neat.
Yeah, and she would like vlog and stuff.
That's
and
cool.
It's just like, this is just what people are now. Mm-hmm. It's just what people are now.
Yeah.
You're going to have a hard time in the future finding any kind of like actor, writer, creative.
Yeah, that's not got content online.
Yeah, that doesn't.
Yeah, Rachel Ziegler, new Hunger Games star. It came across on TikTok. People were like, oh yeah, she used to vlog. Wild. Anyways, let's talk about the awards a little bit.
Let's talk about video games. Let's buck a trend of the video game awards and talk about video games.
Unlike the video game awards, I think we'll lead with the awards.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about the awards winners. There were some surprises in here, which first of all, here's what I'm going to say. Spider-Man, 7 noms, 7 losses.
That's wild that there were no wins for Spider-Man. That's unbelievable.
Now, I did say that this was Spider-Man's year to lose.
Yeah.
I said this was Spider-Man's year to lose, I think.
I didn't think they'd lose all of them, though.
Everything.
I didn't think there was a single chance they'd lose all of them.
Every single award. Well, let's talk about all the awards.
Okay.
Do we want to start? Where do we want to start?
Where do we start?
This one goes from
Yeah.
I'm going to skip best esports because I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, that's fine. Look,
Content Creator of the Year went to Iron Mouse, which I'm very excited about.
that was a fun little message that came in.
I love Iron Mouse.
It's great.
If y'all haven't watched Iron Mouse streams, it's very unlikely that you haven't. But she's
I've actually
so
never
fun.
watched one of her streams. I've only ever seen like a clip here and there.
Yeah,
but
she's great. She's hilarious. Most anticipated game went to Final Fantasy VII Rebirth.
that's not surprising to me.
Is
that surprising to you?
You know, there are a lot of games on here that, like, no, it's not surprising.
Yeah.
But if it had lost to a couple of these games, it wouldn't have been surprising either. Does that
Hades
make
2.
sense? Like Hades 2, if it had gotten it, I would have been like, sure.
Star Wars Outlaws.
Star Wars. You know, when it comes to things like a Dragon and Tekken, those things are big, but not in the same way as these other ones.
No, not Final Fantasy big.
No.
So I'm not surprised that Final Fantasy took that, and that makes sense to me, and I don't have any negative feelings about that. Best multiplayer.
Now, this was surprising.
Yeah?
This was a little surprising.
Really?
Yeah. Going to Baldur's Gate was a little surprising to me.
Not surprising to me at all.
I mean,
Disagree.
I understand that multiplayer is a core part of the experience. I do. But I thought, when I think about award shows, I always try to think strategically, how are you giving the most awards to the most deserving things?
And I do agree with that. When you have categories like multiplayer, it's where games that might not be eligible for any other award would potentially be in this. Party Animals.
A game that's specifically based around multiplayer.
Yeah. So like when you see Party Animals on here, you're like, Party Animals wouldn't get nominated for anything else.
Yeah.
Like that is their thing, is multiplayer.
I thought it was of any of them, I thought it was going to be Baldur's Gate, Diablo 4, or Mario Brothers Wonder.
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
I don't think of Wonder as a multiplayer, but that makes sense. All of these are like not multiplayer first in my mind.
Yeah, except for Party Animals.
Except for Party Animals, which I'm not saying Party Animals should have won.
And I mean, I guess
I'm just saying that's what I mean when we talk about the category when it's like multiplayer games. It would be nice to see games that are
Street Fighter is inherently
uniquely
multiplayer, but I don't think the multiplayer aspect of it is the greatest part of the new Street Fighter.
Yeah, like what is its strongest feature? And is it the multiplayer? And I don't think that it is for Baldur's Gate either.
Right, that's what
I
I'm
think
saying.
it's a great multiplayer, but it isn't like when I think of what Baldur's Gate excels at and what it's exceptional for.
Exactly.
I agree with you on that, but I'm not surprised that it won anyways.
Forza won sports. Congratulations to Sportsers.
Yeah, that was also exactly what we predicted.
Now, Pikmin 4 winning Best Sim and Strategy.
Ooh, Pikmin 4.
I
never would have thought it, and I'm so happy.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited that Pikmin 4 won.
Pikmin 4 deserves so much love.
I think we can thank City Skylines botching their launch for this award. Honestly, I think that's what happened.
Yeah?
I think if City Skylines hadn't had so many issues at launch, that would it would have been City Skylines. Advance Wars 1 and 2, I thought were nowhere near as well done as they could have been.
No. Company Heroes 3, I don't know anything about it.
Yeah, and the Fire Emblem.
Engage.
Congratulations to all who...
I thought Fire Emblem might take it, honestly.
Yeah,
but
you never know with a Fire Emblem. It depends on the year.
I'm so happy. I am a huge Pikmin fan.
Yeah.
We love Pikmin in this house. I think my Pikmin are over there.
Yeah.
So that's cool.
Best family game went to Mario Brothers Wonder. No
I
surprise.
called this one. Yep.
No surprise.
Yeah.
I think there are some other good games on there. If you haven't played Disney Illusion Island, I still think it's very sweet.
Yeah.
And that one is definitely made to play with children.
Yeah.
And it's baby's first Metroidvania.
Great.
And I think we got to get the kids into the Metroidvanias early.
Yeah.
Into God's one true genre of game.
Yeah.
You know?
All right.
You know I love a Metroidvania.
I do. The best fighting game went to Street Fighter 6.
No surprise.
No surprises there. It wasn't going to be Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl 2.
Mortal Kombat 1 had a strong launch and people are enjoying it, but I think it's mired in monetization issues that kept it from winning that one.
Yeah.
And Street Fighter 6 just was such a reinvigoration of it.
Yeah. Best RPG.
What could it be?
Baldur's Gate 3, of course. What
could it be?
else?
What could it be?
Literally, what else? This is the one that I think would have been absolutely bananas to go to anybody else.
So pissed that Starfield didn't win. So pissed that Starfield didn't win. Best action adventure game, Tears of the Kingdom.
Yep.
I think that's great.
I feel great about that. But again, that was one that really could have gone to Spider-Man 2, though.
Could have gone to Spider-Man 2.
That's one that I really could have seen go to Spider-Man 2, and I would have been also very happy with.
This could have been a surprise. This could have been a surprise win for Jedi Survivor as well. But I was just when I saw Jedi Survivor on the list, I'm like, this game is going to be forgotten about.
Kind of, that's the thing, is it just was so early in the year that like every time I see it in the list, like, oh shit, that was this year.
And it had the performance issues, the DC performance issues. So it didn't get the traction that they wanted. Best action game goes to Armored Core 6. Fine, I'll play Armored Core 6. I've been trying to keep away from it because if I take on another FromSoft game, that's going to be the end of me.
Yeah.
And so I've been trying not to, but fine, I'll play Armored Core 6.
Here you go.
I'll spend 13 hours
straight
customizing the jets on my mech. Did you know, Saige? Yes. I don't know how much you know about the Armored Core 6.
A bit.
Did you know how in-depth the mech customization is?
I did.
Every single panel can be painted, every different surface of the mech. And I don't just mean like leg is color. I mean front panel of left leg is color with decal and scratches.
What I want to know is how hard it is to obtain the things to customize it, you know? And is there a free build mode where I just build little mechies for fun?
There is not a free build mode.
How neat would that be?
That would be great.
I want a Spore style free build mode.
Sure.
I'm the only person still referencing Spore as an example of games.
It does feel like this game is made for people who like to do Gundams, like Gunpla.
Yeah.
Like it feels like people where it's like, I don't have $400 for the perfect grade
I don't want to buy
Gundam
all
this
the
month.
supplies. Yeah. I would love that. I would spend so much time on that. I
You
would
do
like that very
unlock
much.
stuff pretty quickly though.
Yeah?
Yeah, so it's like,
But I want a free build mode because I don't want to be like, oh, I'm building it and I spent money in this, so it has to be right. No, I want to build 100 mechs.
yeah.
Okay, best VR AR game.
Resident Evil Village, yeah, sure.
I'm not surprised by this.
I'm
yeah,
not
I
surprised
think that's
by
a
it.
fair win.
I would have liked to have seen it go to Humanity, so Humanity could have won something.
Yeah.
But that's fine. And I do think Humanity was just such a wild thing to do in VR.
Yeah. Best mobile game.
Honkai Star Rail, made by Hoyoverse, same makers of Genshin Impact. Genshin Impact, sponsor stream.
Remember, they're not sponsoring this stream.
Sponsor
You don't have to
stream.
keep saying their name on this stream.
Twitch.tv/Anthony Carboni.
There you go. You can keep saying your Twitch link. They're not sponsoring this.
4 p.m. Pacific today. I'm a human brand. Honkai Star Rail is, of course, the space RPG version of Genshin.
They announced it and I went, oh. I don't know. I think the Monster Hunter now is really fun and doing really well. I think Hello Kitty Island Adventure is a very good game.
Do you know why Hello Kitty Island Adventure didn't win?
Because people in games hate women.
Apple Arcade.
Oh.
Locked behind the Apple Arcade.
Yeah. I don't know. Got nominated. They get to choose.
It did get nominated, but I think it's the accessibility and the fact that, it wasn't, not a lot of people played it to the extent that they should have.
Yeah, maybe. I just think that they did something different. They did something that was big for mobile, and I think it was special. Best debut indie game.
Listen to me. This category, I would have been happy with anybody taking this home.
Yeah.
Every single one of these games this year was so wonderful. Mm-hmm. I can't believe you haven't played Dredge yet.
I know.
Dredge is going to be...
I did just download Venba, though, and I'm very excited to play that. We have friends on the Venba team.
Yeah, you're going to love Venba.
I'm very, very excited.
But you will fucking love Dredge.
I don't know if it's still running. There was an absolutely bananas Humble Bundle this week, and I haven't bought a Humble Bundle in ages.
Oh, the Wholesome Humble.
The Wholesome one was wild. It was a great deal. I bought it this week.
I think,
last week.
I think it might still be going because they did the Wholesome Snack the day before the Game Awards. And I will say this, the Game Awards did sponsor and fund this year's Wholesome Snack.
That's great.
So that's nice.
Happy to hear it. But this award went to Cocoon.
Yeah, Cocoon was great. We played Cocoon. I played Cocoon on a stream, and it's mind-bending in exactly the right way.
We didn't say good morning to Josh. We started talking about Game Awards.
Josh.
Hi, Josh. Good morning.
Are you sad that Starfield didn't win the awards as our resident Starfield player?
Shattered, hurt, crushed. Their lifeless eyes will stare at me now with disappointment because they have no awards to their name.
Yeah.
It's very, very sad for them.
Hey, though, bud. How about Sam Lake?
Hey, Sam Lake is a treasure. We should keep him forever and bring him to do every game. Mm-hmm. He's the greatest man.
Yeah.
The greatest man today.
Best part of the awards for me, too, was when they did the dance number live.
That's what I was waiting for. That's all I wanted. I just wanted to see the dance number.
Best part of the awards for me.
Great.
Yeah. We're going to get to it, but it was a great night. It was a great night for everybody who likes Alan Wake 2. Not the best night it could have been.
Sure.
But a great night.
Also, hi to Alex in chat.
Yeah, hi to Alex in chat. Cocoon is unbelievable. It's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
You should play it if you haven't played it. It is absolutely beautiful and mind-bending in the best way.
Yeah. Here's something. Best indie game.
Best indie game.
Now, we're on a GameSpot article right now, and it's specifically written out as best independent game, too.
Yeah.
And there was that whole debate that we covered of people being like, indie is more of a vibe, the word indie. If you write out the whole word independent, you can't even make that argument. But
sure.
That's besides the point.
And also, the Game Awards actual description of the category says that it needs to be independent.
But it did end up going to an actual indie game,
Yep.
Sea of Stars.
Sea of Stars, which I have not dove into because I'm not an old school RPG guy.
Yeah.
But people, particularly
I'm
turn-based,
excited to get into it.
But people have been telling me, try it. You'll wind up liking it more than you think.
Yeah, people in chat are loving it.
And visually, it's gorgeous. Visually, it reminds me of an old school Enix game, not a Square Enix game, but an old school 16-bit Enix game when Enix were the masters of sprite art, like your Secret of Mana days, things like that. But anyway, all of these games: Cocoon, Dredge, Sea of Stars, Viewfinder. There's a fifth game that is an indie.
Yeah.
Try them all.
Best ongoing game. Or no, best community support.
Best community support. Now, this was another one where it's Cyberpunk 2077 was on the list. Destiny 2 was on the list. Destiny 2, Bungie, who fired their entire community team.
Yeah.
Cyberpunk 2077, who their community support really has just been, we won't refund you unless we have to.
Yeah. But that went to Baldur's Gate 3, who was very deserving of it. Their community support has been exceptional.
Here's the thing. Community support does not have to mean what do you do when things go wrong?
Nope.
That's not what it doesn't mean. It's not best award for crisis management.
Yeah.
Larian released a great game to begin with. Listened to the audience the entire time.
Yep.
Tweaked the game constantly, updated the game constantly, and had great communication with everybody.
Yep. And continued to also release things when nothing was wrong, but release things that were additional for the community playing their game.
Yeah.
Lots of fun additional content for people to consume, stuff like that. The way that they heard players and adjusted. Everything about this launch has been so unbelievably smooth.
Yeah.
And that is community support. So a huge shout out to their community
That's
team.
the thing is watch the people that do it and do it well when they're doing well.
Right.
Because those are the people that are going to be there when things actually do go wrong with their product.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, best ongoing game. Fuck this. Fuck this.
This is so
fuck
funny.
this.
This is
fuck
so
this.
funny.
Fuck this. Fuck this. Now I don't put the tinfoil hat on, Saige. I don't put the tinfoil.
God, this is so funny.
I don't put the tinfoil hat on, but people are always like, how much money is changing hands? How much this and that is going on? I don't do that. I say certainly there are political and strategic ways
Sure.
that award shows are run.
Yeah.
But I've got to say, what was the check like? Mm-hmm. And I'm not
What was
saying
the
this like
check
I
like?
know it for sure, but how many zeros were on that check?
To give this to Cyberpunk 2077 for best ongoing game.
Hey.
It's not even an ongoing game.
It's not ongoing if you're just fixing the same broken game.
And now people are like, but there are DLC for it. DLC doesn't necessarily make a game ongoing.
Yeah.
There is a certain amount of content that has to be released to be ongoing. But two, even the DLC is like, hey, with the DLC, now it's a good game.
Yeah. And also, when you look at the context of these other nominees, Apex Legends, Final
ongoing.
Fantasy XIV,
Ongoing.
Fortnite,
Yeah, ongoing.
Genshin Impact, you're looking at online games as a service,
Yes.
games that offer seasons of content, games that offer
Yes.
passes, games that are made to be played forever. They're ongoing games.
Every single other game in this category makes sense, which is why it's worth putting on the tinfoil hat for when one is so specifically outside of it. If it was a mixed bag,
Yeah.
it would be like, I don't know, their definition of ongoing game is different than ours. But it's just the one, and it won the category.
This reeks of, if not money changing hands, then very much strategic, like, this is a big company. We want to have a good relationship with them in the future. Where can we sneak them in?
But you could have put it in somewhere else. You
Literally
could have found
anywhere
something.
else.
You could have fucking found something.
And here's the thing that's wild. You had your Idris Elba moment last year.
That's enough.
You don't need to invite Cyberpunk back this year. You don't need to do that. You gave him a good chunk of the show last year.
Yeah.
That's totally fine. I think this sucks.
I think this sucks. I think this is bullshit, and I think there was money.
Games for Impact. Love to see this go to Chia. Absolutely lovely game.
Yeah. There were a bunch of really good games in here.
Any of these games would have been great.
Yeah.
Goodbye Volcano High was really lovely.
Mm-hmm.
Chance of Sonar was really lovely. Venba, of course, was very good. It was lovely to see Shu come up and accept the award. We love Shu.
That's great.
We love Shu. Sweet
Next
boy.
up is innovation in accessibility. This was one of the few that actually got to speak on stage, but it was during the pre-show
Yes.
and not during the main show, which I was a little disappointed that innovation and accessibility wasn't part of the main show.
Same.
I just think that that's a very important category. And even if it's not like, oh, okay, you're a viewer that cares about accessibility, even if we remove that, it is one of the most challenging things for developers to do.
Yes.
It is an extremely difficult process that a lot of work and big teams have to go into. Like for labor alone in this, it is such a massive labor of love for video games to make accessible games and to like make not only that, but like new types of accessibility in games.
And these are also like, these are tools that trickle down into every part of the industry.
Yeah.
No matter who you are. Accessibility is a huge deal. And all of these games did a really amazing job. Forza definitely deserved the win.
Yeah.
The live sign language interpreters, all of the things that they added to Forza.
Absolutely.
Unbelievable. I will say this is another one where I was glad to see Spider-Man there. I don't know if you've gotten to it yet, but there is a mission where it's just like, oh, this is
Yeah.
Did you
I know what
get?
you're talking about,
Unbelievable. I don't want to give it away, but there's something that they did where it's like if an indie had made it, that would have been a whole game.
Yeah.
And it would have been a game that was like, here, live this experience because it's important for everybody to live this experience.
Yeah.
And they snuck it into Spider-Man and they didn't cut it. And I thought that was great. But Forza, Microsoft has been doing unbelievable things with their entire framework for accessibility. And they make those tools available to everybody who makes a game on the Xbox.
Which accessibility tools should be. I think that is really wonderful, but I was so sad when I was watching the pre-show when it came up. I was like, no, put it in the main show.
They couldn't because they wanted to give all the main show awards 13 seconds to accept their award.
Oh,
and they would have had to cut. They would have had to cut it down to 9
that's
seconds.
it. It's not only important for the people that are impacted by differing needs for games. It is also important to recognize the labor that is put into it. So that was disappointing to me, but I was excited by the win.
Now, how did you feel, Saige, about best performance, best boy, best waifu, given to Neil Newbon, our good vampire, Asterion?
I loved it. I think Asterion is phenomenal. I think it's probably the most talked about voice in games this year. And it makes complete sense. Like I said before, I was actually disappointed that the narrator from Baldur's Gate 3 was not nominated for this because I think that she was also exceptional.
Now, we weren't doing anything while you were gone because how could we?
Yeah.
But if we had been doing something while you were gone, the BBs were definitely in huge agreement, or would be.
Yeah.
If we had done it, if we had been talking, but we don't talk when you're not around.
Thank you.
But
I thought this was great. I'm very glad it didn't go to Idris Elba. Again, we love Idris Elba, but it's nice to see it go to a voice actor in this particular category that is limited,
And here's what we'll say though. Every single person in this category did a phenomenal job this year.
Yeah.
Every single person did a phenomenal job this year. Melanie Liburd, oh my gosh.
Phenomenal.
Saga Anderson is like unbelievable. Such a great character. Yuri is the Spider-Man I hear if I picture Spider-Man in my head.
Phenomenal, yeah.
Ben Starr did an amazing job in Final Fantasy. I did not play it because I do not care for Final Fantasy very much, but I did watch large chunks of it.
Yeah. So I was happy to see it not go to a mainstream celebrity. Once again, I still wish there were more women nominated overall.
Yes. Yes.
I do think that it was well-deserved by Neil Newbon. I think that was great.
Yep.
Best audio design. Were you surprised by this?
No. But if Alan Wake had taken it, I would have understood.
So this went to Hi-Fi Rush, which audio design is that game.
Yeah.
So that is one of those things where I'm like, uniquely, when I think of audio design, I do love that it went to a game that is so based in its audio.
Yeah. Though it's very interesting because this is one of those categories where if we were talking about audio design in film or TV, audio production, audio supervision, we would have a much clearer idea of what that means because there are two different kinds of audio design going on here.
Yeah.
When you talk about something like an Alan Wake or a Spider-Man, the audio design.
Environmental. Yeah.
It's all about the environment, the world, the depth of design, how those systems interact.
Yeah.
Hi-Fi Rush
is the musical of the category. Yeah, it's like putting a musical in there.
Yeah,
in a movie category.
It doesn't have as much of the depth to it. There aren't like a lot of different things going on in Hi-Fi Rush, but it is so focused on audio. And man, it's fun, man.
Let's pick it up because it's 10:06.
Okay.
Score and music went to Final Fantasy.
Great. Art direction to Alan Wake 2.
Yeah, well deserved. That makes a lot of sense to me. The other one I could have seen also Legend of Zelda. I could have seen Tears of the Kingdom for art direction as well.
Oh, yeah. But seen any of them. Or Liza P. I could have seen.
Narrative makes sense for Alan Wake 2. Best adaptation.
Alan Wake 2!
No, this is TV and movie.
Oh.
So now this went to The Last of Us, which makes sense to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, there were a lot of good noms this year.
Sure.
So I think that's cool. Best game direction, which is huge.
Alan Wake 2!
Yeah, that's big.
Sam Lake Supremacy!
That's a big fucking win.
Yeah. When they won this, though, I knew they weren't going to get Game of the Year.
And then, lastly, the Game of the Year, Baldur's Gate 3.
Baldur's Gate 3, the man shows up, Sven shows up in like armor suit. Yeah. I love it. Not a suit of armor, an armor suit.
Yep.
It's different.
It is. The pants are really what make it an armor suit and not a
and,
suit of
and
armor.
the sleeves. Yeah. Let me tell you something. This is not a surprise. This is the highest selling PC game of all time. This is a big deal game for everybody. Let me tell you something. This is going to make so many more of your friends say, hey, I think I'm going to sit down. I'd like to sit down and try D&D.
Yeah, honestly. I think Baldur's Gate is so well-deserved. When we talk about like labors of love that went into games this year, I think that Baldur's Gate is so deeply one of them. The details of this game have made it so exceptional, down to every animal can be communicated with because there's one spell that allows you to do so. And they said, okay, every animal you encounter has something to say.
And I love that they do it the same way that a DM does it, where it's like, that goat is looking at you funny.
Yeah.
Or it's just like...
Yeah.
It doesn't always, but when it does,
I love it.
It's so good.
I think it's fantastic. I think they did an exceptional job of like, moving within the material. I think that it is such a detailed game. I think that it is such a like replayable game, which is also exceptional. The amount of people that are doing replays is like,
it's a game that's so good at melding to your every decision that you don't know that it's done it until you see someone else play it.
Yeah.
You don't understand how many little things are adding up in the moment until you see someone else play it. And if I could go back in time to teenage me growing up in Central Florida with no one around who wanted to play Dungeons and Dragons with them.
And have this.
And just be like, you don't need anybody. Play
same.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Hard, same. Absolutely the same.
In the future, we've gotten rid of the advanced. This was great. And of course, the show is all about the awards, That's what it's about.
Yeah. All 13 minutes of the awards.
That's right. But there are a few trailers and announcements in between the awards, just a few.
There's a whole lot.
So let's do highlights.
Yeah. Because like we're not going to go through all these. There's so many trailers here. Let's start with like, what was your biggest highlight?
Oh man.
Yeah. What was the biggest one for you?
There were a couple good ones for me. I have to say, Usual June was a big one for me.
That was so lovely.
Our friends at Finji.
Yeah.
I cannot be unbiased.
Yeah.
I love them so much, and this is the first game that they've developed in-house, not as a publisher, but as a studio, since Overland. And it looks amazing. It's described as action-adventure game about teenagers and a space-time cataclysm.
It was a really fun trailer. Do you want to watch any of the trailers, or are we just talking through them?
We might need to talk through them because of how much time do we have?
It is currently 10 a.m.
Maybe we can show a little of our favorites.
Let's show a little of our favorites. Let's go to
favorites.
Anthony's screen.
We'll show a little of our favorites here. The look and the vibe of this one is just gorgeous.
I love the art.
Yeah, they're really crushing it. I love that it's got the animated on twos look.
Yeah.
And I don't know. It just everything about the look and the feel of it speaks
Y'all are
to
seeing
me.
a little extra lag just because it's coming over an NDI source, but I thought this was absolutely beautiful. I really liked that.
Yeah, I love the idea of just teens and ghosts and detectives and space time and
magic.
It's speaking to me.
I loved it. I think that looked really great. I think that my highlight was probably Blade.
Yeah, Arcane's making a Blade.
Yeah.
Arcane is making Blade.
Let's watch a little bit of that trailer on mine. The Blade announcement was just huge. It's great. It's cool. It's fun.
Would we have been more excited about Arcane making a Blade before the last vampire game they made?
Yeah.
Sure. Redfall did not do great, but what did we say about Redfall? We said we want this to be single player story based. What is this?
Single player story based.
And it's fucking Blade, my dude.
Yeah. I think that this, look, what we're getting is like a cinematic little trailer. But I'm still very excited for it. It was enough to get me hype for sure.
Oh, it looks absolutely wonderful. A personal one for me, we don't really have to show much of this, but I was a big fan of Thumper. The horror rhythm game.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorites. And so the fact that they're doing a sequel, they're doing Thrasher.
Yeah.
Ooh,
That looked cute.
that one. When
It's not really my speed, but I saw it and I was like, Anthony, I love
ask
that.
what my neurodivergency looks like. It looks like Thumper.
Yeah.
It looks and feels like Thumper. It is a rhythm magic. I can't believe there's a World of Goo 2 coming out.
And they made a big deal out of World of Goo 2.
Now, World of Goo was one of the biggest things on the Wii. It was one of the first real, quote unquote, real games on WiiWare.
Yeah.
And it was a big deal. But like, man, I can't believe how huge a deal they made of World of Goo 2.
Yeah.
I'm excited, but you know. Persona 3 Reload, of course, looks great. Matthew McConaughey in space looks like Matthew McConaughey in space.
Yeah, we got a new trailer for Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League.
Now, this is a gameplay trailer, which is an important thing for them to do.
I'd like to show a little of that.
Because that last gameplay trailer did not make people happy.
This made me re-excited. How did
Yeah.
it make you feel?
I definitely got like a little more pumped for it. It does feel like, but my question now in my mind is this trailer cut to minimize the servicey nature of it, or did they really pull back on the servicey nature of it?
I don't know. This has been one of my most anticipated games since it was announced.
Yeah.
So nothing's been able to kill my hype for it. And every time a new trailer comes out, I'm just re-excited about it again.
Yeah.
I love this. I really enjoy, I don't know, it's as somebody who doesn't engage with DC very much anymore.
Yeah.
What I do still love is games. Like games is where DC still lives in my heart.
Yeah.
So stuff like this, I just get excited, even when they miss.
Yeah.
And we know they've missed a few.
I'm even a little less, you're right, I'm even a little less hyped by DC animation than I was in the past. But games has been pretty solid.
You know, there's valid criticism of Gotham Knights.
Now this gameplay trailer, this chunk of gameplay does look, now it's more tightly edited, but it does focus more on the action, whereas the last one was very much like, these characters look like they play very samey.
Yeah.
This looks like you're really going to need to be persistently online. They're definitely letting you know that that's not the case.
Right.
But I wonder how much that's true.
Yeah.
Guardedly optimistic is what I would say about me and Suicide Squad right now.
Yeah. I really enjoyed it. I think this sequence right here, that went from like the swinging into Harley's fight
Yeah.
was for me really cool. Cause I was like, ooh, that traversal looks really fun. I don't know.
Yeah.
Playing these characters in something other than an Injustice, I'm really looking forward to. And I love Injustice.
No, it's gonna be great.
Yeah. So that was
gonna be
a
great to do.
highlight for me.
Another one for me, Big Walk, the new game by House, the creators of Untitled Goose Game.
Honestly, I thought this looked really fun. It is a cooperative multiplayer game. I love a cooperative multiplayer game. That's just like words that sell me.
Yeah. Let's go to some of this. Like, I just look at these goofs.
Yeah.
Look at these absolute goofs in this beautiful, realistic environment.
Cooperative traversal, yes, please.
Just we often talk about how our favorite part of a lot of the multiplayer games we play is just like, I just want to walk around with my pals.
Yeah.
Like we just love
to
sometimes
walk around with my pals.
when we're doing Sea of Thieves, we just like being in a boat and being like,
Yeah.
we're on a boat together.
Yeah.
So this game looks like very much that speed.
I'm really excited. Did we get a release date for Big Walk?
Let me see. Big Walk just says 2025.
Too far away.
Too far away, Big
It's
Walk.
one I want to play now.
What else? We got another one for you?
Yeah, I would say, I don't know if there was a lot else that was like, for me personally, there were a few other very big announcements or big trailers.
Yeah.
One of those I just had, Rocket Racing
Yeah.
was a big trailer that was interesting.
This is the Rocket League team making
a Fortnite racing game.
Yeah. A racing game. Like Fortnite wants you to know that they're a development platform now.
Yeah.
And so bringing in the Rocket League team to do Rocket Racers, very smart.
It literally just does look like Rocket League cars. Like the way that they move and stuff like that is very interesting to see. You're just like, oh, that's a car from Rocket League with a character from Fortnite in it. How interesting.
Yeah.
And this is like in Fortnite universe. You see like little Fortnite elements throughout it.
I'm excited to see, because I love me a racing game that gets really insane, arcadey, over the top.
Yeah.
This is definitely going to be that. This was more of a cinematic trailer, but I'm excited to see what's going on with that.
Yeah. What did you think of Jurassic Park Survival?
I think it's cool. I think it's cool. But I'm somebody who remembers. I'm old enough to remember the promise of Jurassic Park Trespasser.
Yeah.
You know, the high tech, really in depth first person Jurassic Park shooter we were supposed to get.
Yeah.
That turned out to be the most broken game that was ever made. This is made by the same company that is working on the zombie action game with John Carpenter. They're doing a lot of good licensed stuff.
The mocap in this looked exceptional.
Unbelievable.
There was a moment where my brain went, "Is this live action?"
It's good. And of course, this is a cinematic.
Yeah, of course.
But it looks great.
But it's a damn impressive cinematic.
And this is cool because it's set the day after the first movie. You are stuck in the park.
Yeah.
You didn't get off with everybody. And it's the day after the 1993 Jurassic Park movie.
I really look forward to seeing some gameplay from this because they were like, oh, okay, a new Jurassic World game. And I was like, okay, whatever, or whatever.
Yeah.
But this isn't the Jurassic World line. This is Jurassic Park. And I don't know. I feel some promise from this.
Yeah,
what we've seen so far.
I think it'll be cool. What's the release on that one? Do we know? Or was that?
We don't have anything for release date yet.
Another unknown one, unfortunately, is Kemuri. This is Ikuri Nakamura's new game. She's, of course, the developer that stole everybody's hearts at the Game Awards a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Talking about Ghostwire Tokyo, which was not one of my favorites, but I did enjoy the visual style to it, which was very much her baby.
Agreed.
And this is this looks like the promise of Sunset Overdrive delivered on in a cyberpunk Tokyo.
Yeah.
So that's everything I need.
Yeah.
That's everything I need.
Very interesting looking. Not a lot yet.
Yeah. Very excited. No release date on that one either.
Yeah.
No Rest for the Wicked is the new top-down ARPG from the people that made Ori and the Blind Forest.
Yeah.
And they say that it's going to have a combat system that will revolutionize the genre.
Bold claim.
Careful, BBs.
Now Ori's great.
Now I'm not seeing it here, but that doesn't mean it isn't there. But it's a bold statement, and I love it.
It's not that it can't be done.
No.
But when you say that, you better do it.
I'm ready for a big swing.
Yeah.
I'm ready for a big swing.
I hope it's a big swing. We did get a little trailer. I mean, we talked earlier about Hideo Kojima and Jordan Peele's collab, OD. We didn't, I don't know if I would even call it a trailer. We got faces saying things, and we're not even going to listen to it because I assume we'll get, struck by lightning or something.
Yeah.
And it was just a kind of disturbing, felt like it was the same line being said over and over again by different faces. And it was just kind of a, ooh.
And it's the faces that we saw in their weird AR ad campaign that they were doing. It's interesting. I like it. It gives me David Cage vibes in a way that I don't enjoy.
Ooh.
You remember when David Cage would announce all of his games with how real the people looked?
Yeah.
I don't like it. But
I don't know. I feel like I have nothing to go off of. I was like, oh yeah, that was kind of weird.
Ubisoft promises that Skull and Bones is happening. They swear it's happening. They swear February 14th. They say
Valentine's Day.
16th, sorry.
Okay.
16th. So you can do your smooches and your pirating, and don't worry because it's for real this time. It's not getting delayed this time. For real, it's happening. It's happening for real.
They can't delay it again, right?
I don't know. History shows otherwise. I want to talk about, and this is the biggest thing for me. I know there are a few other big things, but Sega.
Yeah.
Can we talk about Sega?
Announcements? We don't have trailers, but big Sega announcements.
We got a little bit of gameplay.
A little clippy clip.
A little bit of gameplay, but Sega promises that their super games are coming.
Which we talked about.
There's super, and we said, hey, Sega.
What's a super game?
That super game just sounds like you're going to make a AAA game again. And they sent special invitations to the Game Awards to people.
Yeah.
But the invitations weren't invitations to attend the Game Awards. They sent certain people invitations that said, watch the Game Awards.
Yeah. Very strange.
It was very strange.
Yeah.
And when they finally released this is a very much mostly a concept trailer, but then at the end we get some gameplay. Here are the 5 super games that are in development at Sega right now. Number 1, brand new Jet Set Radio.
Jet Set Radio.
Now we knew this was coming. That had leaked a bit. Number 2, a new Streets of Rage.
Yeah.
Number 3, this beautiful 2D hand-drawn Shinobi.
Yeah.
Then you've got a Golden Axe. And just for Sages,
Crazy Taxi.
a little bit of Crazy Taxi.
Now, I was confused because the things that they showed with Crazy Taxi, I mean, were like racing,
Yeah.
which like
Well,
Crazy Taxi is about speed, but it's not racing.
Well, it's a super game now.
I hope it's not a Crazy Taxi branded racing game.
No,
and
Sage, it's a super game now.
And I hope it's a full Crazy Taxi game.
Oh, yeah.
Because all we saw was them racing and the like lighting up of the wheels and stuff. Like, is not a Crazy Taxi thing.
No, it's new. It's new. It's super game now. Don't worry. It's gonna be all that.
I love the Crazy Taxi games. I have so
know you do.
much.
I know you do.
It's just one of those like very deep nostalgia
Yeah.
feelings. It sits in the same place in my heart as all of the Tony Hawk games,
Mm-hmm.
like identically. They are in a bundle together in my heart. And I'm a little worried that they're like reviving by name but making a racing game.
No, I don't.
You don't think so?
I don't think so. I think they understand what Crazy Taxi is. There might be a racing mode,
Which would be totally fine and great.
because they did a lot of different like mini games and
Yeah,
things like that
absolutely.
in the home versions. Don't worry, Sage. There's super games now.
But here's the thing.
Sage, no, listen.
If they knew what it was, why would they show it like that? Because here, from my fellow taxi fans,
The taxi heads out there.
yeah.
It could be a multiplayer where you're trying to get to fares before other people do. It's okay that there are multiple taxis.
I just want, I want to see somebody stand in with a little circle around them, tapping their feet, waiting for me to take them to work.
I want to take them to a Tower Records.
Yeah.
Or a Kentucky Fried Chicken.
Yeah.
Or a Best Buy. Look, I think it's going to be great. The one that I'm obviously the most interested in is Jet Set Radio.
Of course.
Especially when Bomb Rush Cyberpunk came out and did it so well.
Yeah.
I want to know what they're adding. There were rumors that it's multiplayer online, which would be a first. I'd love to see
There's
that.
also Hi-Fi Rush. Yeah.
Look, Sega really said, okay, we're going to make the games you wanted us to make 15 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay, fine, we give up. We'll make the video games we were supposed to make.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. But it's so weird that they were so resistant to continuing these franchises for so
Yeah.
long when everybody was like, just do what you're good at.
Yeah.
The Golden Axe is the one that looks, well, actually, here's what I'm going to say. The Streets of Rage is the one that looks the most kind of generic to me based on the,
I agree.
and they showed the least of it, which tells me it's not the farthest along.
Yeah.
And especially when we had such an amazing 2D Streets of Rage 4.
Yeah.
They're really going to have to do something interesting with a 3D brawler to bring it back.
Yeah.
Golden Axe, Mazel Tov to Golden Axe fans.
Yeah, I've never played. I don't know.
It doesn't age well, and
Okay.
I don't know. You'll have to do something very unique with it too. But the Shinobi,
Yeah.
looks
beautiful.
Looked very beautiful, and looks like it's continuing on from. Shinobi influenced a ton of games, and now those games are influencing the new Shinobi in a way that I think is very interesting. It looks like The Messenger. It looks like any of the like tough as nails 2D platformer Metroidvania sort of things that we've had recently.
Yeah.
And I love that they went with a 2D animated style for it.
I agree. I think that's beautiful.
I think it's great.
Yeah. I'm super excited for Jet Set Radio.
Mm-hmm.
I'm super excited for Crazy Taxi. I was super excited for the Shinobi, but Streets of Rage for me.
Yeah.
A 3D brawler isn't really. I actually prefer a 2D brawler.
Yeah.
Fine.
Yeah, there's a little charm I think that gets lost in a 3D brawler.
I agree. Which like there's a lot of games and a lot of that time it's like, oh, I'll pick up and I'll play for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
But without the charm, it doesn't really hook me, I guess. But I was really excited about the idea of a new Crazy Taxi.
I know. It's going to be good. It's going to be good. I'm glad that Sega's making these things. I hope that they turn out well.
Yeah.
You know, listen, things are not the greatest they've ever been for Sega. Sonic's dad is in jail.
Yeah.
You know?
Right. You gotta try something new.
You got
which is old.
Yeah.
You gotta try something old.
You got to go back to your roots and remember what it is you loved and why you did it in the first place.
Look, I know that as millennials, we are a little bit crucified for our love of nostalgia and for our attachment to nostalgia more than other generations. But hey, everyone told us what the idea of growing up and being an adult meant. And then we grew up into an economy that didn't allow us to do any of it. So yeah, none of us feel like real adults because you told us that growing up and buying a house and making a comfortable salary and prepping for retirement would be how we became adults. And then when that didn't come, neither did our attachment to current reality.
That's right. And so now we spend all of our money on very expensive anime figures because we have enough to buy a very expensive cartoon character figure, but we do not have enough to buy a house or car or medical operations.
Exactly.
So listen, if I like Spider-Man as much as I like anything else, sorry about it.
Sorry. Maybe I wouldn't if I could buy property.
And also, here's the thing. I don't know that we can trust Sega to do new. I think Sega needs to go back and refine their magic with some of the old stuff.
Yeah.
Get a little of their confidence back. They seem like they're just a little shaken. You know, other than Sonic, which they keep putting out and doing weird shit with.
Yeah.
They feel like they're a little shaken and a little nervous to like make things.
Yeah.
And so I'm excited to see them go back and remake some of my favorite stuff.
The tension in the live studio audience and older Gen Z is absolutely included in this. And I totally agree, especially someone I'm on the cusp.
Honestly, I would say that Gen X was the first generation that got the things are not going to be as good for you.
The very tail end. A lot of Gen X did not have the millennial experience, but the tail end of Gen X,
it's a different thing, but what they got was they got the thing of your life is not going to be anywhere near as good as your parents.
Yes.
Sorry about that.
Yes.
The world is in decline and everything is a lie.
It's just the recession was differently timed for like the center of Gen X versus millennials, which like literally graduated college into the recession, which is a big thing that affected a lot of this. And then with the tail end of Gen Z. But I'm noticing young Gen Z, I mean, a lot of people that are younger in Gen Z aren't old enough to live in like nostalgia yet. So we'll see where that goes. But I do think that Gen Z is coping differently. It's not like, oh, it's better for Gen Z. It's not. It's worse. I'm so sorry. I think they're coping differently. And we were talking about this at dinner while I was in New York, and everybody was like, Gen Z and like Gen Alpha humor in particular is very interesting because it's so absurdist.
It's very absurdist.
Because the world is so broken, it is the only possible response is like genuine disconnect. That like what's funny is literally detached from sense and reality.
Oh yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
So that's the Game Awards.
Yeah. We can talk about other things.
Yeah, no,
talking about the Game Awards.
No, I know, but we are running up against time.
We are,
so, we do want to know, BBs, and a great place to do this would be in the Discord in the It's Too Early channel. Go ahead and join there. But we want to know what you thought about the Game Awards, what your favorite announcements were. Who was your favorite Jeffy?
Let us know.
Who Jeffied the best to you?
Yeah. What was your game of the year? That includes games that are also not nominated. It doesn't have to be a pick from this list. Tell us what it was for you. Let us know in the Discord. You can also check us out on Patreon, patreon.com/PixelCircus, where you'll get a bonus clip from the show today because it's Friday.
Damn, son.
Next week is Week of the Year. We do this every year. And by every year, I mean this is our second year doing Week of the Year.
Every year since last year.
Exactly. Each show next week, we are going to be breaking down all of our favorite things from the year: games, movies, TV shows, other stuff.
Fruits and veggies.
Yeah, if you have a favorite. And we'll have some guests popping by next week as well. So stick around for that.
Which can of compressed air is the best?
I do have opinions on that, actually.
I do too.
Yeah. But we're saving that for next week. We're not burning cast about compressed air. But if this show, you just feel like you need a little more, do check the Patreon where you get bonus content.
That's right.
It's very helpful and it helps us to keep doing this show. So thank you so much. Anthony.
Yes, Saige. Please refer to me as Anthony Genshin Impact Carboni.
I won't. They're not paying me. Go ahead.
Okay. Hey, today at 4 p.m., we're doing a Genshin Impact stream. No, you can go back to my single, Josh. You stay on that single.
Yeah.
Today at 4 p.m. Pacific time, we are playing Genshin Impact. It is a sponsored stream. Thank you to the people from Genshin Impact for doing this
They're
with me.
not sponsoring this show. We don't thank them on It's Too Early.
Thanks to everybody again at Hoyo.
Stop.
Thanks to everybody.
No, cut the stream.
Thanks to everybody
cut the
who
fucking
helped
stream.
out. Twitch.tv/Anthony Carboni.
Yeah, just stay on my single. Don't go back to him. Thank you so much.
Twitch.tv/Anthony Carboni. Thank you everybody who comes by at 4 p.m. No,
Yep, there it is.
No,
there it is.
no.
Thank you so much, Josh. That's an absolutely correct use of that. You can find me everywhere on the internet at Not Saige. Thank you.